I'm sorry. Okay.
Should we call to order
Yep.
and roll call?
All right, so we're calling to order the Parks Committee at 5:03 PM. And Jasmine, do you want me to do roll call? Until you get used to everyone's names.
Okay.
All right, we've got trustee Quinn, committee chair is participating via Zoom.
Yep, here.
Vice Chair Marlene
Yes,
and Danette,
here.
and Ed is absent and excused. Tracy?
Yep.
Kelly?
Yes.
Paul?
Yep.
Colleen?
Yes.
Park Supervisor Mike Lund. Clerk Elisa Capazzo Catch and Deputy Clerk Jasmine Hoagland to record the minutes.
Okay, should we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Any citizens' comments? Nobody is present.
If
Approval
there
of,
are any citizens present on Zoom who want to
Oh,
make a comment,
sorry.
please use the raise hand function. No citizens present on Zoom.
okay. Forgot about Zoom. Approval of the meeting minutes from 8/14/2024. Is there any questions on this? Do we have a first for approval?
I'll make a motion that we approve.
By Danette, second.
Well, second.
Tracy?
Tracy, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Is there any correspondence? Nobody has any correspondence? Okay, Park Supervisors report.
Right, so we finished up the road fence at Living Community Park. Continue to multiple weeds and string trim, the fall soccer season is underway. We sprayed again for weeds, we worked on some repairs, to the pier at Living Community Park. Continue to clean shelters for rentals and for.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question for Mike. Mike, were you or Parks, charged with like repaving or doing something to, the pathway from the cemetery down to Oakwood Road? It looked different to me. That's the only thing. No? Okay.
The town came out and graded it.
Oh,
the
was
other
it the
day.
town who
Yeah.
graded it?
I
Okay.
mean, the village, excuse me, the village came out
village.
and graded it. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a village function, not a park.
Highway.
function, Or
It's a
highway.
Yeah.
Yeah, the highway
Okay,
department.
I mean, it looked good. I have
Yeah,
not been on
that
it.
was
Have you,
nice, very nice.
have you been on it though to see if it's better, maybe less
No,
holes or?
just visually as
Okay.
I go through.
All right,
Fine.
thank you.
Anything else under Park Super? You? Unfinished business, discussion on the festival. I got an email from Fender Benders, Kurt Booz. And he said he'd be interested in playing at the 2025 Lisbon Community Festival. I know it's a bit early, but I was reaching out to others and I remembered you booked shortly after the last of the year, first of the year. Should we put this on as for next month under festivals and start working on that, or what do you think? Should we?
Did he give you a price?
No.
By chance?
No.
Then why don't we move it to next month and we could start securing things?
Okay, let's move
Get the
move
price,
this
that'd
to,
be
Yeah,
important.
and get a price and availability and.
No, we didn't have them. We didn't have them this last year, did we? We had
No,
Somebody else.
We've never had them, but we've heard him. I mean.
No,
I-
we've had the Fender.
Fender Benders.
Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah, we
Yeah,
did. Yeah, we
Fender
did. That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
we did have them.
Who did we have this last year?
We had that Bobby Wade
Oh,
And
yeah,
the-
Bobby Way.
Yeah,
Bobby
Bobby
Wade.
Way and his partner there.
and his buddy.
Whale.
Way out.
Yeah, Whale. Mhm.
Good. The only other thing I want to put under festival is that if we are going to be having a festival, I just want you to know, I do not want to chair the festival thing. So somebody else would have to step up for that. I don't know how it's gonna be run under the new administration, or new administrator. But I do have a whole bunch of really good food trucks and stuff. When they had several different festivals, I went to them. And I made a whole bunch of notes on stuff, so decide when we should start really ramping up on that.
We
Um,
should find out if don't they put input for the budget for the festival? Isn't
Yeah.
it like in October, December or something?
That's festival
The
budgets.
first, but, excuse me, the first budget workshop for village board will actually take place after the village board meeting tonight. But mostly looking at capital projects. As far as nitty gritty, that'll be next month, most likely.
Okay,
No guarantees, but most likely.
Just so all of a sudden we start planning this and it's like, oh, there was nothing put in for a budget for it, so there won't be one.
Yeah, I don't know what the village board's plans are, but I know they will begin discussions tonight.
okay. So we should really put this off until November.
I would think that would be wise.
October, November, yeah.
Okay, okay. Just so you know, I do have all that info. Discussion on a future toilet in the community park. I don't know what is going on with the town board, but I did pull through all my stuff. Report dates from
We
2020.
skipped
Yeah, you
item
skipped
B.
B, skipped Mike.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mike, I didn't see you there. Regarding survey to residents on park developments.
All right, so I did email everyone that updated survey after last meeting, so I don't know if there was any other questions that you want to add, different. We have help with that.
Did you change it much from the original one?
No, I just added the stuff that we talked about. on the Sessions. We added. I did add. Yeah, I think it was just 6% that I added.
If you have an extra copy, Mike, I saw it online and I like what it had, but just to keep my records, I got a pretty complete set here.
Have you figured out, Mike, how that's gonna be sent out?
When we had set up, put the survey. Actually create. Survey that, so once we figure that out. then that's-
Okay,
But I. did a bit more stuff.
do you want to put that back under next month's? Two,
Yeah, is everyone good with this survey? Set up?
I think so.
Mhm.
should we get an approval for that or?
Well, or do you want to wait and get Ed's?
For this.
Did you have any input from Ed, Mike? Had you heard from him? Because he's, because I
I'll
wanted,
email it,
okay,
but
okay. I just wondered, I mean, if maybe he had something else to add. Could we wait another month or,
Well, it should be getting out pretty soon.
I can find all.
okay,
Yeah.
thank you, right, okay.
What would be the next step to get this out?
For the village board for approval.
Thank you. Mike, should we have that put on the next village board meeting? Which would be October?
Say, Marlene. I wonder if this survey can be dovetailed in because on new business, the village is gonna develop that new master plan. And it would seem to really be somehow complementary to what the village wants to do, that we've got information back.
I know from what I've heard about that, that one's strictly Lisbon Community Park, that one's more where this is all the parks. You know, under one. Really, by the way,
Got you.
connected.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not-
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
I heard some stuff about that too, but I'd like to discuss it under, playground structure review when you talk about that. I was doing some calling today. So let's, if you could put that on the board for the next board meeting. And then we can,
So Marlene? Can you hear me?
yeah.
Oh, okay. I know the voice from nowhere. I know there was some discussion about trying to get it out with the tax bills. I don't know if that's going to be possible. Elisa, if we wait.
Honestly, Paula, I don't know what the deadline is because I don't have, any participation in getting the inserts done. However, I believe we would have the ability to at least use the notify me function on Lisbon's website and possibly put, a blurb on one of the inserts saying, hey, take this survey.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to find out what those, that drop dead date would be to get that included in there and actually also what that date would be to get actual physical form put in the tax bill if we could.
Okay.
Okay.
Good idea.
Um,
Thank you.
I will make a note to find out from Natasha and one of us will report back to you, Paula.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, anything more on that?
Um,
Okay. Discussion on future toilet in community park. I don't know exactly. I did go through some of the printouts that we had when we started doing all this business. And I don't know how far it's gotten with the village board, but I remember that we went through this and this was back in 21. And we had pictures of toilets, just toilets. And we also went to Germantown. I believe several of us went out, Nagawicca Park. And I don't know how far or what is going on. Do you know, Paula, what the status of the toilet business for the community park is?
Yeah, I can tell you that what is being bantied around, there's no recommendation that's really come down yet, but I know that the preference would be to have flush toilets instead of like the latrine style. So I know that's something that is kind of on, the minds of the village board. I think they're looking to us to kind of come up with a plan and make some recommendations to them also. So I know there is a will there to kind of do something a little bit more uncampy, I guess is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's nothing on that is on our agenda tonight. So
Okay. Who could I give all this information to?
Me,
And so that it can be processed.
Marlene?
yeah, you always send stuff to me and I'll make sure it gets to Paula, or if it has to go to Mike or to Nick.
Yeah, when we were talking flush toilet, were we talking flush toilet with septic or flush toilet with pumping?
that I don't know. I know there was, I think everything is on the table right now, Marlene. I don't think there's anything that has been ruled out or ruled in. I think they're, it's still under investigation.
I agree with the flush toilets. I think everybody else does. Yes, Bob.
I hope this is a good time. I want to have kind of an apology for my little dialogue that I had at the last meeting, because I'm a real advocate for the bathrooms there. And I wanted to make a point, and I know I sometimes let my emotions get a little ahead of good reasoning, and so my message was lost. And I just want to say that I realize that, and I know that the flush toilets are essential at Lisbon Park, essential.
Yeah. And I think was there talk about replacing the, what do you call it, drop toilet that's up there now, or leaving that and don't know.
That was one of the two options of replacing that one with just a standalone building like it is now, just with flush toilets, and
Mhm.
septic. And then there's also the possibility of putting it, would be across the street next to the new baseball field.
Okay,
So it's kind of two different options. Looking at which
And I can tell you that I will be advocating for as much budget as we can get out of this, but the budget process is like Lisa had mentioned, is just getting underway tonight, so we'll just have to see where everything stands.
Okay,
It has to be a nice little shelter building. It's essential that, cause you gotta plan for the future. You gotta have a strategic idea that that park's been there now 20-some years. And for the next 20 years, the amount of increase of people coming to that park and how that park is gonna be used is gonna be essential to the sizing, the restrooms for that, because there's a lot of activity, as Mike can attest to, that's coming through that park
Mm.
presently.
and I think one of the designs in there that I gave, was something that John Grayton had really wanted, was a small kitchen area, open area, with the flush toilets in it. And
If I can jump in, I think what a good idea for us would be is to come up with like a plan A and a plan B, possibly even a plan C. You know, kind of good, better, best, plans. Just, I don't want to go to the, you know, the whole board with one plan and have something, you know, voted up or down on. Just kind of think through what, you know, a bigger scale would look like, what a smaller scale would look like, just so there's, you know, some options being had. So I think, just as we're kind of going through this, just maybe if we can keep that in mind, that we'll just, you know, kind of have a plan A and a plan B. At least, or we'd have a main recommendation, obviously, but have another plan in place and, you know, shoot for the moon. We can always, I just say we shoot for the moon, and, you know, if we need to take a step back, then, you know, we've at least thought that through.
could we put that in for, unfinished business or new business discussion on a future toilet slash shelter building? And like I say, there's some plans in there. Put that on for next month and maybe get some prices.
Well, you know what I see, Marlene, on the upgraded Village Parks action plan under community park, they have it listed as new bathroom with small shelter by baseball field.
Yeah, we did that back in February of 24.
Yeah, and if this action plan, if it's going to have anything to do, because they're all pretty much capital expenditures that they're gonna start to talk about. That we get kind of an idea as far as budgeting. Because that's what I think they're gonna work off of this action plan. Am I correct in my assumption? You know, Paula?
Yeah, this would certainly be part of our discussion. Absolutely. Yes, Paul.
Um,
And just, I'm gonna throw one thing out here quickly. So this is a little teeny bit off topic, but it does have to do with the toilets in community park. I know at one point Kathy had talked about, you know, possibly being able to, you know, pull some businesses in to see if we can raise any funds that way. I'd like to put that on the agenda as a future item as well, to see if we can't supplement some funding.
Naming rights for the bathroom.
So Paula, you want future funding options added?
Yes, please.
Just want to make sure I have it right.
Because now a flushing toilet will have to be shut down during the winter, right?
Correct.
Yes.
So then we still need something for the winter.
Not necessarily, because you can do electric hydronic heat in the slab. And you can run it at low voltage and enough to keep the slab warm to keep it from freezing. And so you don't need a forced air furnace, but just enough to keep the plumbing inside. And you can do isolation on your heat, on your plumbing and things that's there, and very effectively keep it above freezing without.
Only concern I would, because we shut the water down in the park. You know, we will have it in the fall because we have.
There you
all
go.
The hose bibs and water.
Oh, that's right.
Drinking fountains, so we do shut the water down.
That's right, yeah, that's,
So, I mean. you can
well,
have
then
a-
we keep the pit toilets, we just keep the pit toilets up by the big shelter for the winter time.
Yeah, I mean, you know, my concern with keeping the pit toilets is it's getting hard to find people to actually pump them out. And there is a company that does it now with the hall. You know, I called like 2 years ago when I had it done. I probably called 15 places and nobody does it just because people throw their dirty sweatshirts down there and their water bottles and everything else and it plugs up. their
Yeah.
heat.
Well, we'll have to think of then something, because the sled hill and the ice skate rink that wants to be developed, they're going to need bathrooms. If they're out there, you know, you bring your family out and you've got a child that says, Dad, I gotta go. There has to be some sort of provision in the park.
Is there any, I know this is gonna sound weird because toilets are not very techy, but is there any kind of new technology out there that would,
Yeah, these dry compost toilets.
I was just.
There-
gonna say
That's a
that.
good point, Paula. We can investigate just all
Who gets
different
to clean
types of
those?
options
Sure.
for
I don't know.
restrooms in
I
a park.
I know they're
type-
trending.
Sounds like the guys on the park committee.
And what did you call it? A dry compost toilet?
They have composting and they have different ways to
Oh,
turn the poop into compost.
oh.
But it's gotta, it's gotta be emptied, because
Mhm.
people up north have them
Yeah.
too, but it's your own private family, and you're
Right,
dealing,
Yeah.
not,
you're-
not with
high
everybody
maintenance
else.
in a park with a lot of.
I don't know, I think Mike wants to know what's involved with that.
Not it.
You get in there with a little broom.
All right, we'll keep that in mind. I mean, I don't know what is available or not, honestly, but we should just keep an open mind about it anyway, I think.
And do the parks that have flushing toilets, do they run into problems with plugging all the time with people throwing diapers down there and?
Yeah, I mean, I know that's. Bad.
I'll chat down at Town of Brookfield.
Mike, do you have a mic by you, by chance?
Yep.
Okay,
You just
Yeah.
talk.
I'm having trouble hearing you, I'm sorry.
Well, Mike, how many of the porta potties stay in the park all year long?
I think the one down by the ice.
By
skate
the
rink
ice,
does.
that
Mm.
that one is always there, right? So I mean, families still have access there. There's no hand washing facility,
Yeah.
but at least
But
there is that.
Mm.
I was just saying, is the porta potty by the ice rink the only one that stays all year long?
Keep.
Oh, we don't. Okay, so in the winter, when the kids are skating, sledding, whatever, there's nowhere.
Now they're using the pit toilet.
Right, but I mean,
Yeah.
that would be close, I guess in the
I wouldn't say
future.
I've experienced or just noticing, I would say it's very limited. People
Yeah.
using it just because it's fresh. See what that customer. So,
Yeah, and it's a scary, they're scary.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe an option is we have one of the handicap size porta potties placed near the ice rink and,
I don't know if they can
Sledding
sit
hill.
out during the winter.
Yeah,
Not many people provide
winter.
bathrooms year round.
Mm-mm.
Oh, they don't?
Because
okay,
they don't put antifreeze in,
Yeah, they do.
in
They
the
put antifreeze.
tanks.
okay. I mean, I just, just as, we've all said, there's,
It could be possible, but.
you know.
it's a higher charge.
sure, right,
Yeah.
right.
Obviously, you
Yeah.
can't,
Yeah.
right now, like, when they clean them, they spray them all with water. and,
Mhm.
Yeah.
you know, clean them out, obviously, you can't do that.
Sure,
Freeze,
sure.
Clean does become an issue,
Mhm.
but I mean, sure, it's all possible.
That's not on your survey, is there? Possible usage of porta potties or something during the winter?
Oh, you know what? That's a good idea. Yeah, why don't we ask? Maybe people would want that. I don't know.
I mean, usually when people go sledding or skating, they're only there for an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
would
know.
wanna phrase it. Or,
I don't know.
yeah,
Just a thought. I mean, as you said, there's so many people that are using the park now and, no.
Otherwise, they just go dip into the woods a little bit. Where's the nearest tree line? So.
yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't, not use flush toilets just because we're not gonna have something built. Obviously, we do get people in the parks, but like you guys said, they don't stay as long.
Right.
As they do something,
Mhm.
they're cross-country skiing.
You're there for an hour or something.
So it's not like we're spending all day. They do something.
Right, yeah.
Say, Mike, is it possible where the pump house is, if they just bury the line below the frost line to wherever the bathroom would be, or does the pump house itself drain? You drain in
No,
that.
the pump house stays active in there and
Okay.
that's heated. There's a little milk house heater.
Yeah,
So that does stay activated in there, but we do shut the main line.
but there could be one line going down depending where they put the bathroom. because they're gonna need a water line to it anyways, if it's a new bathroom, and just put it below the frost line. And that way, with the heated slab and the water line, you can keep that line open.
Yeah.
And shut the rest of the water lines off that go to the bubblers.
Yeah.
You know, there's different ways, I think, if we really think about it.
Oh, there's definitely.
Yeah, we can come up with things.
It's just, you know, the more you do, the more it's gonna cost.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, the bathrooms would be open only during daylight hour, right, during the winter, so does I don't know, does the limited amount of time play a role in that then? I mean, if it's only gonna be, you know, from what, 7 a.m. till 4 p.m., I mean, cause it's dark, it's pitch
No,
black at 5 o'clock.
In the wintertime, it's used heavily, the ski hill, the sledding hill in the evening.
We do have signs that we keep it open until at least 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
In winter months for
Mm.
sledding purposes.
Right.
It's nice day.
because you would have time locks on the doors, so after the park is officially closed, it would automatically lock the doors, and you can adjust that to whenever the park is open.
Yeah, I think it's worth looking into.
Any other questions? We'll move on to discussion necessary action regarding updates to the 5-year plan. Were we gonna hold off on that until after we got the survey back?
I think we probably should, unless anybody's got some notes in here, because there are, you know, some points in here like, kind of the basic inventory and information, you know, there really should be 3 more parks added to our system, you know, if you read through that. So I think the survey would be helpful to kind of gauge where we need to prioritize.
Okay, let's put that off until next month then. And
Do you
hopefully,
want to hold off until next month? Or do you want to wait until the
Survey.
The survey's
survey
back.
results come back?
yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
so once the survey results come back, Mike, are you going to be collecting those or are those going to be coming to Village Hall by us?
I don't think that's decided yet. That's the problem.
So
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of got ourselves tied in a knot here because in order for the village board to discuss budget, we really need to get you know, the parks long range plans. We need that piece of it. Now we're saying we have to do the survey, and that's, you know, going to be pushed out at least probably till the end of the year after the budget process is done. So I feel like we've kind of tied ourselves in a knot a bit.
So I guess my thought process on bringing the 5-year plan back is it makes sense to me to go through it, make the changes that need to be made now, like updating town to village, updating town hall park to Jane Stadler Park,
Most of that's
Do-
been done already.
but it hasn't been approved.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all the cosmetic changes, I agree, we can do those.
So
Mhm.
I think we've made minor changes. The red line version that I gave you guys in January is all the updates that I've received from you. If there's other updates that you don't want to wait on, can we spend 10 minutes going through it now? Otherwise, if you don't have any additional updates, are you good with me sending that to the board? And then you can do a deep dive once the park surveys have come back.
That makes
Once
sense.
those back, whoever is taking those will compile the results and give them to Paula, and she'll make sure that they get on an agenda. Does that make sense to everyone? Or is there something else you want to do with that?
It
I
makes sense, but the information that we have in these are a couple of years old. There's nothing really current.
This is
Well-
from January 24.
Well, the January 24 is only the red letter where they change from
So-
town to village.
Paul, it was updated December 22nd of 2020. And it was
Yeah.
a 5-year plan, so it
Yeah.
needs to be updated by the end of 2025. So you're still in good shape.
Okay, still got, okay,
And
then,
that'll
No.
give us time
Yeah.
to get the survey.
yeah.
Can I point something out really quick? If you guys turn to page 15 of that document, it's kind of like the recommendations and land use plans, kind of overview. That is what kind of the village board would be looking at to say, okay, like, what do you got? What is our ultimate thing we want to go here? So, I mean, if you just read down those 9 points, not to say that there's going to be some additions and deletions in there, but I think that is a pretty good 30,000 foot view, at least for the budgeting process. So if you guys want to take maybe 2 quick minutes to like look through that, I think this would be time well spent, excuse me.
Should we just go over it, items 1 to 9?
Sure, yeah, go for it, Marlene, yeah.
Additional sport field or recreational building needs to be monitored annually and acted upon the needs of the local recs. How are we doing with, now we got a new baseball field? How are
Mhm.
we doing with the other baseball fields, Mike? Do we need to upgrade like James Stadler Memorial?
Agreed, I would say. Not at this time. Sufficient for their use.
Okay, so baseball fields are sufficiently okay?
Even if you build their use.
I can't hear Mike at all, just so you guys know, I don't know what the problem is.
All right,
Oh, there you go, you're booming in now, Mike, thank you.
forgot what I was saying.
Baseball
So
fields.
baseball fields, yeah, like right now, like I said, if you add more fields, people are gonna use field, but I'd say with the addition of the one at Community Park, I would say we're in a fairly good spot.
Okay. Okay.
The only thing I would interject here is we did have those citizens come and talk about pickleball, so I think that's something that would be. I guess on number 2, it says additional volleyball courts should be constructed in neighborhood parts. Maybe we should do volleyball/pickleball. Think about that as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Personally, I would take volleyball out and put pickleball. I mean, volleyball, the courts are used more by kids building sandcastles and.
Fair enough.
they
Does
do,
everybody,
but
does
it's
everybody
not
agree with that?
high.
Yeah,
Yeah, because we got a
There-
couple of volleyball courts already in the park.
Mhm.
Yeah,
the Lisbon Oaks Park was talked about of putting a pickleball court in.
yeah, that's a good spot.
Well, this sheet of paper says Stone Family Park, possible pickleball court,
Um,
upgrading village parks action plan from 221 before.
Well, a lot of that is in here, vice versa.
okay. Yeah, I don't know, Stone Family, is there room there for pickleball? Or is Lisbon Oaks a better?
Yeah, see, this is something I think that we would need to really figure out where pickleball would be most beneficial for everybody. Like, is it community? Is it Lisbon? Like where we would need to figure that out.
And that would come with the survey.
Yeah.
Does the survey have a question on that?
There's. Well,
Okay, then I think that would come with the survey.
Yeah.
Well, I think it asks, do you want to see pickleball? Does it ask, where do you want to see pickleball, Mike? Is that how that question is phrased? I don't care.
Or would you like to see pickleball and where?
yeah, I could add that in there where I don't think it's just an option for what we would,
Right.
yeah.
And my guess would be that it would be whoever answered is going to be closest to their house.
Yeah, that's true. And if there's a strong response of pickleball,
Mhm.
then we can decide, boy, we got 300 people who want pickleball. We maybe put one in this park and one in that park or something like that.
And I would suggest just by, what I've noticed with Village of Sussex, they put a new pickleball court
Yeah.
off of Maple. And the parking lot is full where people are parking on the street. And it does, not as a hazard, but there's been more traffic there, which is people parking on the street. So I would say someplace with a lot of parking would be probably the best place to put it.
Yeah,
Oh,
So-
I forget who told me this, but somebody said, that old Shopco building?
I did.
Oh,
yeah.
Marlene, did you tell everybody that?
No.
What is it?
Shopko building in Sussex is going to be a sports center and they're gonna have a lot of pickleball
Oh,
in there.
and that may impact us not having to put it in the
Oh.
park if they have really nice facilities in
Yeah.
the shops and year
I
round.
think you'll have to pay for that one. though.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
recreational players
Yes, sir.
are still gonna wanna use a free one at the park.
Yeah.
I-
Seasonal,
yes, yeah.
seasonal though.
Is
I-
that-
Yeah.
I would say your hard quarters, people will probably pay to
Yeah.
play at those
Yeah.
indoor ones, but
Mhm.
your, weekend
Families
warrior,
and
they're
stuff,
coming
Yeah.
Yeah.
to the
Those
parks.
Sussex ones
Is
are
that
full of
Sussex who's
children.
going to run that, or is it a
no,
private
it's a private-
industry?
Right.
Private, okay.
A pickleball court, I looked it up, it's about 20 feet wide and 44 feet long. And they recommend nets in it because otherwise the balls get all over the place.
Right.
And as far as the cost wise, have no idea.
Yep.
Either concrete or asphalt base that's covered.
Okay.
And there's adjustable net systems that have to be bought for that too.
Yep.
And
Okay,
the sports have to go on a north-south direction.
Before we get too deep into pickleball, can I suggest, because we're already, the clock is going like very
Crazy.
quick.
Okay, let's continue on. But just so you know, as far as space wise, when Mike's out, a court 40 foot long has to be in a north-south position, which would really impact where it's going
Okay, good to know.
Okay.
Does it have to be a north south?
because of the way the sun hits it.
Okay.
Okay,
number-
number 3, connecting system should be improved. And as far as, connectors between the village parks, I'm glad they, graded that. Any questions on that? Construction of at least one rentable shelter at every park. I don't think we, have any of that at, Stony Hellquist. And well, Gene Stadler, we do, Lisbon Oaks, we do. Stone Family, we do not.
So does everybody agree that there should be a rentable shelter at every park, or should we pick the main parks and do something a little bit better there?
Yeah, I would think
Main
it would
parks
be
and better.
priority and work its way down.
Yeah,
Is there
So may-
pretty?
Yeah, so maybe change that up a little, Lisa, just to say the construction of rental properties at select parks. I would not say every park. I think that's over.
Yeah.
Do you want me to say most used?
Yes, good. Yep.
okay, number 5. Headwaters of the Bark River. Preservation of these lands are essential. I think everybody agrees with that.
Yep, I think 5 is good.
Keep that. I think it was just change of the village. Number 6, Lisbon should continue its program providing play equipment and other facilities for the physically challenged. I think as we go on, like in James Stadler Memorial, I think that is physically handicapped, most of the stuff we've done, but if we do put more new play equipment in, it definitely should be
Yeah.
ADA.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, so then we'll keep that in there. Good.
Yeah. No, is it number 7? No regional parks are planned. Number 8, there's areas where they should have future growth areas or service gaps.
Yeah.
But the thing is getting the land.
Yep.
It's a big
I think
problem.
my opinion is we keep that on as just something to consider, but we just concentrate on what we've got right now, because we've got plenty of
We got a lot of
ideas and things that
updating.
need
in
to happen.
parks.
Yeah, okay. Great.
Number
And-
9, the same thing, impact fees. That really is, at this time, could be left as is.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay,
Does that answer?
Yep.
Anything else?
I think we're good there. I think
Um,
that'll be a good guide for the board. So thank you for doing that. I appreciate it.
Paula, I'll get those typed up and I'll kick them over to you in email by the middle of next week.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay,
New business, discussion and necessary action regarding hiring a design firm to develop a master plan. This is I believe it's playground structure. Is this the one? No.
oh, this is Kathy is gonna do a
Oh,
quick
this is Kathy.
presentation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
She was waiting patiently and decided to go do something, and of course, that's when we called her.
So
at the last village board meeting, the village board, we spoke about possible areas for bathrooms and septic systems and things like that. The village board decided that they would rather us hire a professional designer for the park and have someone come in and actually look at the best uses of that park and how it should be used before we start planning on bathrooms and doing surveys. I did speak with someone about a couple companies that do this for other municipalities. And the cost would require us to go to an RFP to do that. So we'd have to write an RFP, get the money in the budget, and hire someone. That company would do a survey of the residents. And I know that you spoke earlier, and I don't know where you ended up at with having a survey that Mike put together with your help of changing things up. But it's important to only get results from people that live in the village, because they're the ones that pay for the parks and the things in the parks. So I wanted to bring it to your attention and see if you wanted to make a motion for us to go out for an RFP for to hire a professional designer.
How much is
For
that gonna
park
cost,
development.
Kathy?
Well, an RFP is required when it hits 25,000.
Okay, now, the only thing I have with that is back in February of 21st, we did upgrading our village parks, and when I looked at this and I looked at this, they were very identical. And as far as,
That's not who did that. Now, we're talking about a professional.
okay, but still, you want to spend $25,000 to do a survey that we've been working on, that Mike has done, that is going to be sent out,
Yeah.
plus saying the same thing as this upgrading village park.
Okay, so the difference is that the people that would be hired to do this work for a living, and they do it for other parks. They do it for Sussex parks. And there's a big difference between what Sussex parks look like compared to our parks, how they're used, the best use of the parks. That's all important. And that's not just opinion. This is actually a company that does that, looking at the community as a whole, speaking with residents, surveying the residents. I think it's a good idea to, and the board thinks it's a good idea to move forward on something that is before we put money into bathrooms, that we see if what we need is a bigger building with the concessions, an auditorium, who knows what we need. But that's what another company that has no personal gain by whatever happens at the park. They're just looking, this is the space, this is the best use of that space. And for us to get more people to actually go to the park.
Hey, Kathy,
Yes.
would they then actually do a drawing and an overlay on a map to say, here's a good place to put the pickleball, here's a good place to put the
Right,
bathroom, and do a.
Yes,
or
so
is it
they
just
would-
a survey,
Right, they're gonna do the whole design.
the whole
Thank you.
design, okay.
So they design the whole park. And then the park committee and the village board, depending on finances, can chip away at that design. So now we have a design, and as much as we've talked about maybe doing some fundraising at our events and things like that, we don't have anything really laid out what our the design should be for the whole park. And so this would actually do that work for us. I'm not saying that every contractor is gonna be 25,000. I just said that that's what a RFP would run us, would required for that. If we ended up with bids that were, less than that, we wouldn't have to go to RFP, but the idea is, to get something together, so when I'm doing the budget for 2025, if you are looking to have something done in LCP, our first step for our board to approve anything further is to have a design specialist design the park the way for the best use.
When,
Yes.
So for, it says, at Lisbon Community Park is where they would be designed for, so the other parks, they wouldn't be really.
No, this is just LCP. Because this is our biggest park. It's our premier park. It's the area where we want to get the most people inside. It's not a neighborhood park like Lisbon, Oaks or Stone Family or Stony Hulkwest, those, and although we say it's Fred Keller's a park, there's nothing there other than a baseball diamond.
so it would be $25,000 to
Well-
do a drawing of approximately of community park only.
It's
Not
in the,
not
it's a,
necessarily.
That's,
I'm saying that's the threshold. If
Okay.
it's RFP requires us at 25,000.
okay. How many board members are on board with this?
Well, we brought it to you. I mean, the board specifically, Paula, I don't know if you counted the board members when we were talking about this, but I know we have,
There was
I
one,
know 3.
there was one.
There's two that I know of. The other two I can't tell you for sure.
One's not here. so.
I don't know. I think $25,000 could go a long way for any kind of structure. If you're
But
just
if you're
talking
not
for
gonna get
community park.
anything, if our board doesn't approve anything until we get a design.
Yeah.
Where are you?
Well, then we
I'm in
have,
favor of this, and it addresses the concerns that I tried to express last
Yeah.
month, in that we've got these different ideas floating around and everybody's kind of shooting from the hip. And
but Paul,
I-
this is for one park.
I know, but
Well,
when,
and-
when you
and-
see what needs to be done on the park, because we have a lot of different requests and things that we want. The size of the building, the baseball diamond is still.
Well, Baseball
Different.
diamonds in.
Well, they won't put the baseball diamond before they have this.
Yeah, the
study.
baseball
Oh,
diamond.
that's-
Baseball diamond starts October
Yeah.
15th. They're moving. to-
That's done.
That's a
Oh,
done deal.
I
That's
thought
it's
this
not.
was gonna supersede.
No.
because
No.
It would seem this should have been done before the baseball.
If we
diamond.
would have done it years ago, yeah, but if you put it off another
Because that's
few years,
such a
it'll be in the
tight
same
fit.
spot.
The only thing this is gonna address is where you wanna put the toilet, how big you wanna put the toilet. We've talked about it.
If
We've
you,
talked about it back in January. We've talked about it on here.
Yeah, I thought
And-
this would supersede now, and
No.
then we get a master plan and we can see exactly how
So-
everything is gonna.
in the design, the things that are there would be either part of the design moving forward, or depending on, not the baseball diamond, but depending on what the designer believes the rest of the park should be used for.
Yeah, that's too bad, because
So-
the baseball diamond is the premier spot of the most valuable piece of real estate in the whole park. And without having that included in this master plan and go ahead and do it, what's left is just the trails. And then
Well-
I'm with Marlene. If it's just the trails they're looking at, because of the terrain of that park, there's very little the areas that you can develop into anything.
Okay, so you have to either make a motion to deny the request or not. So you can go forward or you can deny it. We'll still discuss it at the village board. It's just, do you want your opinion at the village board?
I'd like
What
to see
opinion?
a show of hands.
I have a
from-
question
Oh,
first.
okay.
On this that came out.
That's nothing to do with
No,
this.
no, but, this Russell Williams from this MWP,
No
I
idea
mean,
who that is.
they put this thing together, is what it looks like. Okay, were they paid to have this done? They just did
It's
that?
not a design.
Right,
They're a
so,
vendor, they're a vendor of.
right, they're a vendor, so they gave us
That's
this
down further
just
there.
because. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see that.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's not a, that's not what I'm talking about.
Right,
No,
That
exactly, right.
was somebody
That's-
that wanted to sell us some product.
That's
Okay,
unseen.
so that's
This is
totally under-
something, this
right.
is something that is an
Right.
architect,
Mhm,
a park architect
okay,
that comes to our property. Now, I threw out the 25,000 for the RFP. That's what the RFP cutoff is. Anything over 25,000 has to go to RFP. Otherwise, we can just do quotes like I had mentioned. I have not had anybody come out to look at the park or the size of the park or anything. It was just a statement. I don't want you to get stuck on 25,000.
right,
It was a statement saying that we would
Yeah.
have to go to RFP if it's over 25,000. Otherwise, we can get quotes. But,
It still would be a cost
it's a
to have
cost,
somebody come
absolutely.
out and say, you got your
Professional. Mm-hmm.
baseball field, you got your play equipment, you got your ice skating rink, you've got your shelters in. The only thing is, we've been talking about putting in a flush toilet, that's given. Is it gonna be a bigger building like John Greiten wanted? I agree with that. What else do we want to develop in there? We
But
went a
that's
couple
not,
years.
that's what this person does.
Right, but.
Is this
the-
person decides the best,
does that
uses
person
for the
know that
property?
This was originally designed as a nature park?
that is,
No,
I have to disagree with them.
Originally it was, that was the statement. You may disagree now in
disagree.
2024, but originally the mission statement, and when you go back to the founding of the park here, that was the mission
But
of the.
now it is, but it doesn't have to stay that way.
it doesn't have. to
And
stay
it's
that
not
way.
what my understanding is the prairie was, John did the prairie, so they didn't have to mow.
That's not.
Oh,
And that
that's
was,
not
that was
true.
the reason.
That's a
Told you
false
that's
statement.
totally off.
oh,
Yeah,
No.
it was maybe a snide remark that John may have said, but the
No.
prairie is a pride and joy of John's, and it's a pride and joy of Lisbon Community Park.
Yeah,
And I talked to many people who come specifically for the prairie, and now they're coming for the birds because it's all
Right.
seed. And you see flocks of bluebirds, flocks of goldfinch,
yep.
they're birds that
So
are migrating like
This,
no other.
this,
We gotta
this
move,
has nothing
guys.
to do with the prairie. This all has to do with hiring somebody that's professional to do this work.
Only if there's,
And I just need, you just want to make a
Do
decision
we-
if you
we
want to.
Want to make a motion. And I make a motion that we reject this proposal.
Deny it. Okay,
And just, anybody want to add into that or?
I want to add.
I
in
have to have a
that-
second if it was a
Well,
motion.
Wait,
I'm on discussion. I'm adding in, if they would do the study before the baseball diamond to see if that's a good fit, I would be for it. If they're gonna build a baseball diamond, regardless of
It's-
what these
it's in-
people say,
that's
it's
a
in
done
vote.
deal.
It's done.
there must be some way, because they haven't broke ground yet.
No,
all set.
but it's signed.
Then,
It's done.
then I'd say it's a waste of money.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Could
Mark.
I have a second motion on that?
I
But we
second.
still want to make sure it's done right.
Yeah, I would like to see a plan for all the parks, not one park. I think that was a misunderstanding I had, that this would be an overall master plan for all the parks. So,
It's for one
I
part.
mean, obviously, that would be a much bigger scope than what
That's
we're
the
looking
same
at
thing
I
here.
was, so if she thought it was for all parks.
You said it's just for community.
Well, I was just talking about community, but if she says it's for all parks, then we would do all parks.
Then that would be a different story.
And it'll be a different cost.
A different.
Well, we
Going
didn't-
to
Be
all the
three
parks.
times, four
I don't
times
know
the
how many times I can tell you. I did not get any costs from anyone. I was just telling you where the RFP
Well, how did we-
requirement is.
I think that maybe we should make a recommendation to do have a design firm look at all our parks, like a master plan for all the park system of Lisbon.
But we should get a price
You're
first.
right, we
Well, of
should.
course, nothing will happen without getting a price. I mean, if it's
No.
ridiculous, then,
Because if somebody's gonna go out and do a plan for X amount of dollars, then we can put a bathroom in for that. We know the parks. We've been in the parks.
We
We've
can't put a
been,
bathroom in for even $25,000.
well, whatever. We've been to all the parks. We've toured all the parks. and we know what can go into them.
Okay.
It's up to everybody.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't know where you're at because you had a motion and a second to deny doing anything, and then we had Paula come up and say, Paula make the suggest that we do a master plan for all parks. But I didn't, but we had already had a motion and a second on the table, so.
So let's vote on that original thing and then can we, or do a revision to the motion that's already out?
Make
Yeah.
another motion.
Okay, then we'll vote on the original motion. Berlin, you want to handle that?
Motion. So
Do-
currently it's the motion to deny.
Did we have a motion
Having-
tonight? We have a second?
Yeah, that was Paul.
Mhm.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I am going to abstain on this vote.
Fair enough. Then that's only
Oh,
two, so
was
that
he
this
for-
is
so
not
this
going
is
anywhere.
for-
Yeah. I
To
mean,
deny
The
the,
approval
that's
of the
why I'm
parks.
abstaining.
The new
So-
would be for all the parks.
We need more information, I guess.
So it
Is
was
all the parks or
Marlene?
one park?
so
You
Mar,
do.
Tracy, did you vote? No, yes,
I
no,
would like to be,
abstain?
yeah.
Okay. Kelly and Paul,
I'm for the firm doing it.
okay, so, but right now it's a denial for moving forward on the original motion. You could have withdrawn your motion just as well. But we've got a second and I just wanted to make sure that Jasmine has the three people that said that they wanted to deny it. Because we have 7 people on the board
Paul-
and Paula said, no.
What the-
Paula said you wanted to deny it as well, correct, Paula?
Correct. In its current form, yes.
Yeah, so Paula, Marlene, Paul
Colleen.
and Colleen. So we have our 4.
That's 4. Okay. So then I'd like to bring another motion to,
It's 4-0. Motion was denied.
Okay,
Okay,
so
Go
then
ahead,
we'll
Paula.
bring another motion that says we would like to look into an RFP or hiring a firm to do a master plan for all parks, an overall park plan, not just community park.
yeah.
Yes.
Should we add to
so
that?
that was your motion?
And again, there's nothing written in stone here. Yes, that's my motion.
Is that motion to be
Well-
said depending, not to move
But
forward
it's-
until we get a price?
They could give.
So
an
the
estimate
motion
Price.
The motion is for a price.
is to get, are you looking, was your motion to do a master plan or a motion was to get quotes for a master plan or?
Regarding an RFP for hiring a design firm to develop a master plan for all Lisbon community
Okay.
parks.
Thank you.
I second, if the.
Paul seconded. Who's calling for the motion, not me?
No.
Marlene, that's you.
And okay, do we have a motion to approve?
Yeah,
Paula made
so
the
it's a
motion,
vote.
Paul seconded.
So we need a vote.
Now we vote.
We have vote. Who will vote for that?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right,
6.
unanimous. All right,
Alright.
thank you, people. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Ken.
And we're 2 minutes behind. Since we were started 2 minutes later, discussion on the ice rink by Mike.
Yeah. So just kind of threw some numbers together for possible upgrades for the ice rink. And we talked about last meeting about, making that area more year-round usage than just in winter. So I did break it down, but I'll kind of give you the estimate, depending on, so the size of the ice rink for portable ice rinks is a 52 by 104. And just to put that in perspective, our current ice rink is 126 by 126.
Yeah.
So it's
So
just under half
halfway.
size roughly. They do have a few different options. One is 18-inch sides all the way around. So if you ever driven past Little Sussex's, that's what theirs is, 18-inch
Mhm.
all the way around. They do offer where you can do 4-foot ends. So like where the hockey goals would be, it would be 4 feet high. That is an additional charge of additional $3,000. But for other things we use in summer would be electrical outlets, adding bollards to add for the receptacles. A lot of the stuff could be done in-house with the catch basin removal, the drain pipe removal, the existing asphalt and curbing. Doing restoration on top of that, it's roughly between $19,000 and $22,000. For that, yeah. And the difference is just in the ice rink, if we decided to go with the 18-inch all the way around or the 48-inch sides on the ends.
That has a liner.
Yep, it's a liner.
Is there any way that with the research you've done with our existing ice rink, because it's nice, they play hockey on it, that just curbing can be put around on the existing ice rink in order to get a thicker edge? Because now, you know, with you say that it melts so easily on the edge. To hold the water to build it up so you can get a couple of inches?
It's definitely a possibility, but I feel that would be a higher cost. Because you're gonna be adding concrete to that, you're gonna have to rip off the existing to
Oh, I was thinking
the base.
or a setup one or something, because what they have at the library in Sussex, they just set it up on the grass there, correct?
Yeah, correct.
And something of that same, that instead of pulling that
Oh,
basin.
we gotta move this real fast.
Yeah,
we're over.
that could be, that's could be set up without having to do the removal. And that way, in the summertime, we can still use it for parking and other things.
Yeah, I mean, my thought was the only time really don't ever use it for parking, because you know, for our community fest, we use it for like fire department and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But that space can be better used, in my opinion, for the bounce houses, the stage for the, if we continue to do like the, performers and stuff like that, just to make more space, because right now we're heavily condensed in just a couple areas. But this is gonna give us more usable space throughout that whole area, and it'd be used year round, instead of now it's just gonna be working.
And the current ice rink gets deeper in the middle, so it's sloped, right? So that wouldn't work to just put the portable or something on top of it.
Because it would still, it follows the contour.
Right.
Once the ground, so whatever's on the bottom, it reflect up, so you do get a level space, to put this style of ice rink.
Do we wanna, put this for future discussion at the next
Yeah.
meeting too?
Yes, please, Marlene, thank you.
Playground structure
It's a
review.
Good topic.
Yep.
Okay, request for items to be added to the future agenda. I'd like to check into the ATC grant. We had talked about that a long time ago on, getting rid of all the buckthorn and finding if that grant is still available. And if that would be okay, if we could put that on the new business for the future agenda. Anything else for the future agenda?
You know, we gotta go back to that playground structure.
And the playground,
Right.
I'm sorry.
So I've got ice rink, playground structure, ATC grant update and future funding options, all for the October agenda, and then fender benders for the November agenda. And then 5-year parks plan, we are putting off until after the results of the survey to finish the major updates.
Correct.
Yep. Yeah, just with the changes that we had made on that page 15, Elisa, we can do the cosmetic.
And I'll
changes with
take those
page
to
15
by
changes.
middle of next week.
Okay,
That's a good question, Mike. If they want to go ahead with this, this RPF, they want to do the survey, and if we let them do the
That's
survey,
different.
that's different. Okay, thank you. Any other questions or any other for next week, for next month?
I think we got enough.
Okay, call the meeting, at 7 minutes after 6.
Okay, who's making the motion to adjourn?
All motion.
I second.
Is that Tracy and Marlene?
Yes.
Yep.
All in
Thank-
favor?
I.
I.
All
Sure.
opposed? 6:07.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, Paula.
See you later.
Put them together.